Hello and welcome back to the NFL DFS slate breakdown for Thursday night football. We have the Patriots versus the Jets in what will be an interesting matchup, and we're going to dive straight into it. But before we do, I'm your host, Tyler Weeman. Come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all for one low price. We also do have a free trial, 7 days free. You can get access to it through the Apple or Google app stores, as well as our website, linestarapp.com. If you've never tried us out before, you can get access to the 7 days free. Now let's dive in and take a look at this slate here. We got a 43.5 total. The Patriots are 12.5-point home favorites to the Jets. Now, it is a divisional game, so there is always some wonkiness that comes to two divisional opponents knowing each other very, very well. But you got to think the Patriots are running away with this. They're obviously the much better team. The Jets are a little bit of a wild card. If Justin Fields has a day that can kind of keep up with a bunch of teams, but it's just no consistency out of this offense whatsoever, and they have almost nobody to throw the ball to. So it's going to be hard for the Jets. As far as injury-wise, Ramondre Stevenson is out, Kayshon Boutte is out, and Austin Hooper is out for the Pats. It does look like Terrell Jennings he's questionable. We're still watching that news, that knee issue. Not sure if he is going to go play or not. And then it's likely that Dearness Johnson does get called up. I would expect Johnson or Jennings to be involved, whatever one is healthy and playing. On the Jets side, there's going to be no Garrett Wilson, which is obviously the big one outside of that. They are pretty much a go. It is cool temps, but no real win, nothing really to worry about. Now let's dive in. Let's dissect it play by play a little bit to see what we can uncover here. So starting at quarterback, we got Drake May, 12K. We got 9,400 Justin Fields. Just want to pull up FanDuel here too so we can look at those numbers. All right. Now on FanDuel, it's only $1,400 difference between quarterbacks. So Drake May is going to be a significantly better play than Justin Fields. But on DraftKings, where there's a big difference, there is a little more reason to go to Fields. We know he has big time upside, but then he has these games where he almost has single digits in attempts. 10 attempts versus Cleveland, 11 attempts versus Carolina, 16 versus Denver. You just can't afford to run into one of those type games because it just means their offense is absolutely not able to get it going whatsoever. They won this game against Cleveland, but it was with 2 touchdowns from special teams, and 42 of this 52 yards was from one play from Breece Hall breaking a screen pass to go 42 yards. So it was a absolutely awful effort last week, but versus a very good defense. This New England defense is solid as well. Now, they're about average versus quarterback. They haven't allowed much rushing upside, and that's goes the same with running backs. Running backs have had a hard time versus the Patriots as well. They do give up running back receiving yards, though. All in all, Justin Fields, due to his rushing upside, is in consideration, but Drake May is clearly the safer play, clearly the higher ceiling play, as he can give you rushing yards with good passing. I like May of these two. Obviously prefer him, but there is big salary difference. So I understand if you don't want to pay May, there is absolutely the chance the Patriots are just running the ball a ton in this game. Now, getting over to the running back room. We got Travion Henderson, who had his coming out party last week versus Tampa Bay. typically a very good rush D, he goes for 14 carries for 147 yards and 2 tutties. He broke 2 long plays. Shows his explosiveness, but you take those out and he didn't really do all that much. So I think a ton of people are going to be wrapped up in that upside, which makes sense. But understand, if he's not breaking that big play, he may have another game like he did versus Atlanta, which was 14 for 55, 4 receptions for 32 yards. He can absolutely beat you through the air as well. I like Henderson. I think he is a very good player. The price is up there, but there's absolutely a path. The matchup is decent. The RB1 is 19th versus the Jets. And so it's a good matchup. Above average matchup, at least. Breece Hall on the other side. Running backs have had an incredibly difficult time versus the Patriots. 57.5 yards per game, only 0.2 touchdowns per game. The one area they've been able to get it done is the receiving game. The Jets really need to lean in this. Breece can get it done in the receiving game. We need Fields to check it down to him. If they're checking it down to him, I think there's a path to the offense getting going a little bit. Now, just a path. Outside of that, we got Isaiah Davis, who will be involved very little. 3 carries, one target last game, 7 and 5 versus Cincinnati. But again, that was a 77-point showing. So I don't expect that to happen in this game, but he can get a little work, has a little upside. I do think 4,200 is just too expensive to really want to go there in these single game slates, though. Now, Jennings, 3,600, Dearness Johnson. I think there's absolutely a situation where if Jennings plays, he gets the goal line work again. He did versus Atlanta. He got hurt versus Tampa, so we couldn't see it. But I think there is the path that if he comes back, he gets that work and he carries some upside there. Now, if he is out, I do wonder if they make Dearness Johnson active. And if so, maybe he gets some of that goal line work. I think it would be at least interesting to throw him out in a couple spots. It's worth saying that in the game that Terrell Jennings did have this touchdown against Atlanta, Travion Henderson essentially had the Ramondre Stevenson role, got 75% of the work. Jennings was only out there for 25%, but he did get some goal line carries. So that 25% could be interesting, could be usable. And we just have to wait to see, who's active tomorrow when the game starts here. Now, on to FanDuel. Both Henderson and Breece, very similar prices, and Jennings Davis are, there as well. Just kind of meh. But I got to lean towards Henderson, but at a similar price, you could go each way. Either way, it really depends on the lineup you are constructing. Most likely Henderson has the better game. It's the better offense, the better team. Huge favorites. They're going to be running the ball. The path to least resistance is likely Henderson beating Breece Hall. On to wide receiver on DraftKings. So we got Stephon Diggs at 9,800 coming as the highest owned wide receiver. It's no big surprise. The Patriots are going to be out without Kayshon Boutte again. And with that, it becomes a little interesting here in the wide receiver room for the Pats. Last week, they did have Kyle Williams playing, and he played 56%. He had one big play. It was a 72-yard touchdown, I believe. Yes. He had 2 targets, 1 reception for 72 yards, and a tutty. So he's going to be involved. Demario Douglas, last week without Boutte, his snap share didn't really go up. So I don't think you can rely on him. Now, he gets targeted a ton when he gets out there. He was only out there for 21 snaps, or 21% of the snaps. It was 13 snaps, and he got 2 targets. So they definitely use him when he's out there, but he's just not out there that much. He hasn't played more than 16 snaps since week 6. So you can't really count on Demario Douglas being out there a ton. Mac Hollins played like 80% of the snaps. He is going to be out there. He did well. The issue here is we know he's just another guy. He's going to run a ton of routes. He blocks well. He's okay, but nothing special. Now, he's going to be out there a ton, so I think you got to consider him, but he's just not an upside play. Diggs, Kyle Williams are your upside plays from the Patriots. Douglas at 6,200. You're just going to need a lot from very few snaps. It can happen. They obviously have rapport, but I don't love the play. But both $5,800 Mac Hollins and Kyle Williams both make sense along with Diggs. On the Jets side, the Jets wide receivers is where it gets really, really interesting. Really not sure what to do here. Tyler Johnson is the highest owned. He played 63% of the snaps. Arian Smith played 67%, and Mechie only played 16%. Now, that was Mechie's first game with the Jets after the trade, so very well could just be a little bit of a loading period until he is given a little more work, but I don't think you can really count on him. Isaiah Williams was out there for like 40%. Now, with how this offense works, there are really only 2 options at wide receiver, so I'd be looking at Arian Smith or Tyler Johnson clearly. Outside of those 2, there's just not likely to be many targets, and really only one of these 2 are probably going to get targets, or 5+ targets. So with that, be careful what you wish for from this Jets wide receiver core. On the FanDuel side, 10.2K for Diggs, 4.8K for Douglas, 5.4 for Hollins. I got to go Hollins over Douglas. The projections show it. More ownership's going to Douglas. And obviously it's the same on FanDuel or on DraftKings for me as well. On the Jets side, man, it's tough. We do have to wait and see if Lazard is going to play. He was a healthy inactive last week. Oh, another one, AD Mitchell could be good to go. He got traded to the Jets recently as well. And they're waiting to get him ramped up still. So a lot to be seen when it comes tomorrow to actives and inactives with this Jets wide receiver core. But Tyler Johnson, Arian Smith are the most likely to go from the Jets. Now, let's get on over to tight end on DraftKings. Mason Taylor at 4K. By all intents and purposes, this is the number 1 receiving option on the Jets. He's also in a decent spot here. 26 versus tight end is the Pats so far on the year, 0.4 touchdowns, 65 yards per game, and Mason Taylor carries a little upside. It's just Justin Fields throwing him the ball. We have seen where teams have been able to take Justin Fields or Mason Taylor totally out of the game when Fields is out there. So that is a worry. There is some upside. I don't mind playing him, but any receiving option from the Jets is scary, as 3 of the last 4 games, there's been 16 or less attempts. Just hard to get much going on offense when that's all you're going to throw the ball. I can't see that continue to happen. Hunter Henry at 5,400 is incredibly interesting. He gets targets weekly. Now, those targets have gone down recently, but we know there's big time upside. and I'm absolutely fine playing him. There's no Kayshon Boutte, no Austin Hooper. He is going to be out there a ton, and I think he is cheap for the upside. So I'm fine having plenty of Hunter Henry. He played 87% of the snaps last week, and that was with Hooper playing 56. And that's about what Hooper has been playing. So I would expect Henry to be out there 90-ish% of the snaps, maybe go, 100%, maybe go 95 plus. I think he's a fine pick. Getting on over to defense. Oh, man, it's Patriots or bust for me here. I can't go to this Jets D. They just sold off all their pieces. They're only 3,200, but they're huge underdogs. The way they end up optimal is through special teams. I mean, it happened last week. Can it happen 2 weeks in a row? I would say very doubtful. You take out that, and 9 is their top. And I would kind of expect their ceiling to be around that in this situation. May has taken care of the ball very well. Henderson has fumbled a couple times this year, but never fumbled in college. I don't think his fumbles are that sticky. I think it's just going to be hard for the Jets to turn the ball over, or get the Patriots to turn the ball over. On the Pat side, there's big time upside. The Jets offense has been absolutely anemic. They're 12.5-point dogs. They could get after the quarterback. Fields can throw interceptions. Somebody can fumble. I think there's plenty of pass. And obviously the kickers are always in play. It's just not going to be too many chances for the Jets to score. And that is the issue. However, they very well could just kick field goals. And with that, Folk carries some upside. Pat's kicker is going to be out there. They are the more efficient offense. He may not have a ton of field goal attempts, but the extra points are going to be there. And then he has 2-3 field goals, and there's a possibility. If this game is like, 30-10, something like that, you're probably going to want the Eagles or the Patriots kicker in this game. And, maybe only one Jet in that type of scenario. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. It's an interesting slate, 43.5 total. A lot is up in the air, though. There's definitely going to be plenty of lineups that are not duped, just because the Jets receiver core, really anything can happen. Arian Smith, 1,600, isn't going to be out there or isn't going to be used that much, but yet he ran he was out there for the most snaps for the Jets. I think there's plenty of ways to get different on this slate, which does make it a little intriguing from a DFS perspective. Hope you guys have a good one. We will be back soon. Talk to y'all later. Peace.